hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Pivotal Moments with Liletta. I am super excited about today's episode because I have the honor of having Skylar on my show today. And when I tell you this 13-year-old is doing amazing things, from interviews, from articles, from awards, I'm going to let her share what she has been up to. So without further delay, Skylar, welcome to Pivotal Moments with Liletta. Tell us about who you are, what you're doing, some of the things you're involved in.
Okay. Hi, my name is Skylar. I have my business is Sew Fly Sky, so like SEW Fly Sky. I started sewing when I was around, I think, 8. And I started out with upcycling. So I would take clothes and do like kind of like thrift flips. I go to thrift stores or have some of my old clothes in my closet, and I change them and put like a modern spin onto it, and make something new, something that I can wear now. So I started making stuff like that, and then I went to making things out of patterns. So I would buy patterns from Joann's and like flip through the books. I used to flip through the books like for forever, and just find stuff I like and get patterns and make a whole bunch of outfits out of those cool patterns. And then I learned how to make my own patterns, so I was able to make anything I wanted. I didn't have any restrictions.
Wow.
So
That's
then,
cool.
thank you. So yeah, I started making my own patterns, and I also made an outfit for Phyllis Randall, who is, the chairwoman of Loudoun County. And I've also made outfits for Christina Bouweiri, who is the founder of Sterling Women and the president of Reston Limousine. And also, I was able to get onto the Kelly Clarkson show, where I met Kamorley Simmons, who is my all-time favorite designer, and now she is my mentor.
That is so awesome. Congratulations for all that you're doing and all the success that is coming your way. So, as we get into this conversation and we start talking about pivoting, most 13-year-olds probably haven't had much experience with having to pivot. But in your case, you have had to. So why don't you share a time where you have had to make a pivot?
Well, during me making the outfit for Phyllis Randall, this was like my first big client. I hadn't really, made clients or made outfits for anybody else before. So I was measuring her. This was my first time doing measurements on people and everything, because normally, I do it like on myself, and I had other people trying to help me. So this was my first time doing it on somebody else other than me.
Yeah.
And it was like I had the measurements, and at that time I was working with a sewing teacher. So I think I was like 10, so I needed like a little bit of help. So I had the measurements, and I brought them back to my sewing teacher, and I was like, okay. So we started making the patterns, and I was like, let's make it a little bit bigger, because if it's too small, then we can't make it bigger, and we're going to have to start from scratch. But if it's too big, we can make it a little bit smaller. So she was like, no, we should be able to do it out of the measurements that you have, it'll be fine. So I, I made the outfit, and I fit it to her, and the pants were too small.
Yikes.
So yes, so I went back to my sewing teacher, and I was like, the pants are too small. Like, we're gonna have to start all over. So she was like, no, we can put panels in the sides. And I'm like, those are gonna look like Adidas pants, and I don't know if I want to do that. So she was like, maybe this is too ambitious for you. So I was like, okay. And we let her go as a sewing teacher, and I finished making the outfit all by myself.
First of all, kudos to you for not giving up. And I'm sure, this was someone that you trusted, and to be told, well, maybe it's too much, that could have easily just stopped you and said, maybe it is too much. Maybe I can't do this. But you definitely pivoted, and you made an amazing outfit, and look at all the doors that opened for you. Wow, that is so cool. So, we talk about not just pivoting, but these pivotal moments, right? And things that help us to see like what's super important to us that everything else kind of goes around. So what would you say you have found is super important to you that everything else must adjust around that?
Definitely having a good support system, and having people around you who support you, who uplift you, and also having confidence in myself, because if I didn't have confidence in myself, then I probably wouldn't have, I probably would have believed her and be like, oh, well, maybe it is too ambitious for me. Maybe I shouldn't, do this.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't have been where I am today.
Wow. Wow. That is a beautiful message. So now we talk about adjustments versus pivots. And sometimes in life, we have to make adjustments. They aren't always as fun or as pretty, but they're things that we have to adjust to and kind of adapt, right? So in your case, can you think of a time where you had to make an adjustment?
During quarantine, back when this like first started, and there wasn't a lot of people making masks, and masks weren't something that I'm like used to making. I was used to making clothes.
Yeah.
So I went to, and I saw that all of the like hospitals and doctors' offices were running out of supplies and masks, and that they were like accepting donations, but I didn't really see a lot of people donating. So I started making masks by myself, and that's when I started to post it on Instagram and Facebook, and like encouraging people to make masks and donate them to hospitals and doctors' offices and medical personnel. And a lot of people were like, well, we don't really have sewing machines, we don't know how to make them, and we want masks, so like, could you sell them on your website? And that's when I started selling them on my website, and donated some of the donated things to making masks towards the medical personnel.
Yeah, wow. That is so commendable. Do you know about how many masks you ended up making?
Probably like 5,000.
Woo! Wow. That's an adjustment, a pivot, and probably a whole bunch of other things wrapped in there. That is awesome, Skylar. Wow. So encouraging. And I'm telling you, I know people watching this right now are being inspired and hopefully being moved to say, you know what, I'm going to just go for it because Skylar set that example. So that is so cool. Okay. So as we get to the end of our conversation, I always want people to leave a special message to the viewers. So what is your message to viewers today?
Definitely having a good support system, and people who support you, people around you who uplift you, who, and because there's some people who don't, they see your vision and they're like, well, I don't see anybody else doing that, so why, you should, that might be too difficult, that might be too hard, you shouldn't do that. But you have to find the difference between constructive criticism and someone who is trying to bring you down, and like they're trying to stunt your growth, and they
Yeah.
don't see your vision.
Wow, that is great advice. And that's something that all of us, no matter what age we are, can definitely take a page from that book. Well, Skylar, thank you so much. I know you are, as they say, booked and busy. You are a busy entrepreneur. So I sincerely appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to chat with me about your pivotal moments, and just wish you the best in all that you're doing, all the amazing things you're doing. The sky is the limit.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, everyone, I'm sure you have enjoyed this. You will have all her contact information in the link so you can follow and keep up with Skylar. And as always, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Pivotal Moments with Liletta. We will see you next time.